local charities and food banks are working hard to put meals on the table for those in need, but many are also raising the alarm about rising food insecurity. Some food banks say they are seeing double the number of visitors compared to last year. Charities across Canada are reporting more and more people being forced to choose between rent and food. Food Banks Canada says 1 in 4 Canadians is facing food insecurity. And to talk more about that, let's bring in Melissa Fromm, President and CEO of the Calgary Food Bank. Melissa, thank you for joining us today. I imagine it is a busy day for you.
You know, we're just at our annual walk here in Calgary, and so we have a couple hundred folks outside walking in support of the Calgary Food Bank and focusing on food insecurity, so it's a good day to be talking.
What is the situation for you in Calgary? We hear that number 1 in 4 Canadians. What is it like in Calgary for you?
Absolutely. You know, the data tells us that Alberta in particular is one of the worst provinces right now facing food insecurity, and particularly the city of Calgary. We have higher rates of unemployment than we'd like to see and high cost of living, and so we certainly fall into those statistics.
And with how bad is you're talking about unemployment, you're talking about the cost of living. How does the cost of living compare in Calgary to some? We always hear these stories about the cost of living in a place like Toronto.
Yeah, I think what we've experienced in Calgary is very similar to what we're seeing across the country, with housing costs being particularly onerous and high. And I think what we're finding in Calgary is that we're creeping up on Toronto and Vancouver, and so we're starting to see the effect of that at the Calgary Food Bank and how folks are struggling to make ends meet.
And what kind of a response are you getting from the community?
You know, the amazing thing I will say is that Calgarians step up, and so as we see the demand increase, we certainly continue to see the support that comes with that, making sure that no one goes without. But it is still concerning because I don't know that we can continue to keep pace with the need.
And that need is growing, and it's a difficult decision so many people are facing now. When you have to choose between rent or food.
Yeah. It really is, and I think the devil's in the details on this. And one of the shocking statistics that we see at the Calgary Food Bank is that our fastest growing demographic is folks who are working. For all intents and purposes, these folks are doing everything right. They have full-time jobs, they're paying their mortgage, they're paying their rent, they're paying their car payments and everything else, and at the end of the month, there's just not enough left for food. And it's concerning for a lot of reasons, but I think specifically for us because there's not an easy solution to that. When folks lose their job, we help them find employment. When folks are struggling, perhaps needing reskilling, we help them with some employment skills. But in this scenario where folks are doing everything right and still can't feed their children, what's the end game on that?
And we're almost out of time, but what would you like to see from various levels of government, all three?
Oh man, complex problems have complex solutions, but what we'd really like to see is for all levels of government to be working collaboratively to find solutions instead of working against each other and pointing fingers.
Okay, Melissa, thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you for all the great work you guys are doing.
Thanks so much.
Melissa Fromm is the President and CEO of the Calgary Food Bank. And Calgarians came